For this lesson, we'll be going over slightly more advanced stuff. At first, I think everyone will be able to handle it. They're mostly strategic concepts, and the stuff at the later end of the video is going to be a little more advanced. So I'm going to call these Lesson X and Lesson Y. I'm not sure where they're going to end up in the final version of the course, but I wanted to do something that addressed some of the issues I saw a lot of the more medium ELO players running into, which is just sort of how fast they're playing and the time that they're finding they're not able to find plays to make, and they end up wasting a bunch of time. So as I'm finishing my blue here, as we talked about, I'm looking at the lanes and deciding where to gank. I'm finishing my Gromp, and my clear here is actually ridiculously slow. I end up doing Scuttle something like 17 seconds slower than I should. Because I don't have a gank, and this is very important, I don't waste any time, I immediately recall. I'm seeing a lot of the Emerald, Gold, and Plat players sort of wander around after Scuttle. It's really important that you go spend the gold and get back on the map and find something useful to do. In this case, these Krugs would be spawning a lot sooner if my clear was better, and I could be here a lot sooner. And I could have, if I'm 17 seconds late, you usually have, 10 or so seconds that you get to Krugs early. I'd have a little over a 20-second window to gank my top lane. And my top is in a gankable state. I have a bit less of a window than I should because of how slow my clear was. And I do gank this successfully. But if I didn't have a gank here, I probably would have just waited and try brush until my Krugs were, say, 5 seconds from spawning, and then I would walk over and E the Krugs 2 seconds before they spawn, just like we did with our first camp. And then I proceed with my clear. I do deviate slightly from the clear here to make a play that I think is strategically sound, but I'm not going to get into, which is I just trade my flash for the Rises flash. And then I continue with my clear. I take note here that Scuttle Crab is going to spawn on this side of the map. So after I finish my Gromp, I'm going to go contest the Scuttle. I know Wukong was clearing the other direction, and he did Dragon, so he's probably many camps behind me, and he probably won't be contesting this Scuttle Crab, and he'll be going in the other direction. So I can quickly kill the Scuttle Crab with my Smite. And again, while I'm doing Scuttle, obviously I can't gank here. And this whole time, actually, before this, I'm looking at the bottom wave state. And I'm seeing, okay, these guys are pushing out. They're far back in the lane now, but they're moving their position up. And this is something we're going to talk about later when we're talking about identifying ganks. But I know this, obviously, and so I take note of it. And I realize that this will become a gankable lane. And so I start to move into the bush. I also ask my team if the Jhin has flash, and the Pyke pings that he doesn't have flash. So I just go into the bush and I just wait for him to get really close to me. And then when he does, I just Q and I walk up and hit him, setting up my teammate's CC. So my Pyke E's him. We just kill this guy. The Pyke lands a really good hit on this guy. We get another kill. And just immediately I go find somewhere safe to recall. Nothing else to do here. I didn't even have to think about it because I already did everything on this side of the map. So just instantly go find a good place to recall. And my Krugs are going to be up soon. I want to get there for them. And while I'm running towards Krugs, they respawn. I look top to see if there's something I need to do before Krugs. You could argue that maybe you could hover this. Wukong's going to be here probably in a bit, but then we spot him on a ward. So now we know he's on the bottom half of the map. And I start clearing again. That's lesson X. This next part of the same game is lesson Y. So lesson Y is cross-map plays. How do we know when we can do like an objective or go into the enemy jungle or make a play that is a little more aggressive than just like full clearing? Well, while I'm doing my Raptors here, I'm worried, Wukong was here. He might have had a camp here. Maybe he's going to gank mid. So I'm pulling Raptors to the left and sweeping the grubs to see if he moved to those. Or like if, yeah, to see if he moved to those. And I'm worried if he's going to gank Victor. So I'm pulling Raptors to the left. Oh, and my team sees Wukong. Immediately, I ping that I'm going to do grubs. On the way, ping on grubs. As soon as I see this guy, I know it's time to do grubs. Because with Pryo, his Jin and Bard have crashed the wave. All three of them are going to come into my jungle, and Wukong is going to start stealing my camps. So I finish my Raptors kiting them to the left instead of to the right, and I go and I do grubs. My team gets vision, so I know he stole my blue. Um, I figure I have enough time to take one camp from him since he's stealing mine. So I go do blue. I see him on vision again. He stole my wolves. And now he's stealing my Gromp, so I know I can take one more camp. I am a little worried though if I go for wolves. Um, Rise might rotate, Mundo might rotate, and Wukong might start a recall after he kills the Gromp. Um, and also they might not be up. I don't see them. I probably could have stolen the wolves. Um, but I look mid and I figure I can probably help this guy's wave position. Wukong is a little behind me in gold, and he hasn't reset in a while, right? I have a good bit more items than him, and I'm up a level. And I'm using my flash to track Rise's flash, but he has Cosmic Insight. Um, so his flash cooldown's a little shorter than mine, about 20 seconds shorter. So he ends up having it, and he flashes out, which is unfortunate because that combo was really good. I used Volley Bear alt Unstoppable portion to not get rooted. Right here, when I see him Eing me, I just immediately alt so that I'm unstoppable and I can't get rooted. Here's the Wukong and Bard rotation. Of course, if he hadn't had flash, he'd be dead. That's my mistake. But I'm so much stronger than these guys, so I'm just hitting, hitting, hitting. I kill this guy. At this point, I should walk away. Um, I make the mistake of not looking at my minimap. I'm assuming Pike's rotating, but he's kind of dilly-dallying, and now he's even stopping to hit a ward. He should be a little further, like over here or maybe over here by now. So I continue fighting because I'm not paying attention. I kill Bard. If Pike had been here, he'd be a lot closer. Probably close enough that when I go on to Jin here, Pike would be able to go on him during the stun and probably kill him with his ult. My team ends up cleaning up this play quite nicely though, getting both of those kills. And then while I'm dead, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do next. And with the order my camps are spawning in, it's obviously to just sprint straight to Krugs and start clearing again. Um, I think again it's important to know like this goes way better if I'm not behind from my first clear speed. This is why being fast is so important. And that everything I did this game was very purposeful and very quick. There's no dilly-dallying. If you can't see something to do, you should just recall or farm. Um, but I hope this helps the medium ELO players a lot more because this seems to be two big parts of the game that they're struggling with.